We are so honored to be here together on this extraordinary and important Shabbat evening. My name is Rabbi Zach Shapiro. I'm here with Cantor Lonnie Freilich, our cantorial intern Liz Baseman. And we're going to be taking a step back during much of the service because for the first time ever in Temple Akiba's history, our service will be led by members of our men's group. And to Victor and Herman and Barry and many others, your leadership has truly been extraordinary. And so we are really excited to be on this journey today. But before we begin with our liturgy, we need to reflect on today. I want to be very clear. The decision on abortion should not be seen as progressive versus conservative, Democrat versus Republican. This is church versus state. And I want to share as a Jewish community why abortion has always been something that we are very accepting on, whether you are Orthodox or conservative or Reform. I say this with the understanding that not everyone sees abortion in the same way, but I want to be very clear that Judaism does have a very important word to say on this. The words I'm going to share, the outline I'm going to share, was offered to me by the National Council of Jewish Women. And it comes in the form of questions and answers. The first question is, does Jewish law state that life begins at conception? The Jewish answer is no. In Judaism, life begins once that child is born. Now, I think about this on a personal level. I have twins. I saw their hearts beating in the sonogram. So I personally can come to this understanding with mixed emotions. But historically, Judaism is very clear. Life begins at birth, and therefore, there's no such thing in Judaism as the rights of an unborn baby. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Another question. Does Jewish law assert that it is possible to murder a fetus? No. Because again, in Jewish law, a fetus is not considered a life. According to Jewish law, is abortion health care? Yes. Because Jewish law stipulates that the well-being of the woman who is carrying the child overrides everything else, and that we need to provide health care for that woman. Finally, do abortion bans unduly favor one religious viewpoint over another? Yes. Because these abortion bans follow perspectives that are not found in Judaism, but are found in other religions. I find it heinous what the Supreme Court has done. I find it scary that this can open the door to taking away other kinds of rights. And we have not only a responsibility, but an obligation as a sacred community to stand up, to stand out, and make a difference. And your cantors and I want to make it crystal clear, and this is something that I shared earlier on social media. If you need someone to listen to you, Hinenu, we are here. If you need someone who needs to see you, to really see you, Hinenu, we are here. If you need someone to cry with, Hinenu, we are here. And if you need a place to come in and yell because you're angry, come here. And this is a place that will absorb your voices. Hinenu, we are here.
Prohibits abortion at 15 weeks and has yet to take effect. In California, Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill that
we are a sacred community.
providers from liability.
We're not here to be angry, although anger may stir us, but we are here to make a difference. So let's engage in tonight's service. Let's journey through it together so we can gain strength moving forward tomorrow to make our world a more just world. We are going to open with music, the singing of Hine Matov, how important it is that we're here together as family. In your prayer books, it's on page 10? Yes. 10. On page 10, everyone. I was about to say that we invite Ira forward to offer the next blessing, but I think there's 4 Iras in the sanctuary tonight. Ira Pemstein, if you'll please join us for the lighting of our Shabbat candles. And Herman Barnathan, we'd like you to come forward as well, as you will be offering the Kiddush. We're on page 2, everyone.
It's getting there. Page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Friends, we're going to continue with the Kiddush. It's on page 5, and we invite all who are able to please rise.
recorded. There we go. Okay.
See, has everything worked out? Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, kivanu fochata, Ve'otanu kidashta min kol homim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Herman. We're going to continue now with Lecha Dodi, the song of welcoming Shabbat. It's on page 20 of our prayer books.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. 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 Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shemo tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi uri, uri shidaberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. We rise and face the entrance. verse 9. Bo'vi v'shalom ateret bala, gam besimcha uv'tzola, toch emunei am segula, bo'vi chala, lecha dodi, lecha dodi likra kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likra kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Please be seated except for Ira Diamond this time. Ira's coming forward to lead. Am I not on? Ira is, there we go. Ira's coming forward to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish. We're on page 26, everyone. Page 26. Hi, Ira.
Shalom.
Yikadal v'yikadash shamei rabba v'yamad divra kerute v'yamlik malachute Uv-yomechon, uv-chayeta kol Yisrael. Ba'agala, uvizman koriv, ve'imaru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mavora, leolam ulmeomaya, yitbarak, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitroman, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemeda kudesha brihu, leolamin kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata b'nechemata, da'amiram b'yama, ve'imaru, amen.
We invite the congregation to rise once again. We're on page 28 for our formal call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Hamevorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai.
Don't be seated. Stand up, everyone. The service tonight actually came with a whole pamphlet that we're only borrowing a few readings from, but the Men of Reformed Judaism, the umbrella organization of all the men's group in Reformed Judaism, put together such a wonderful liturgy that we wanted to weave into our regular liturgy. So the following reading is not in your prayer books, but it will be offered by Barry, here he is, by Barry Hallworth and it is a rendition of the Ahavat Olam prayer, a prayer about love. Barry, Shabbat Shalom.
Which is the microphone that's working.
Hopefully that one.
I spend enough time on Zoom knowing when the mic's going on.
Right.
We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love.
Thank you so much, Barry. We continue on page 34 with the watchword of our faith, the Shema Yisrael. Jerry will be offering a special reading in our supplement, followed by the chanting of the Via Havta. And the Via Havta is in our books on page 36, but the reading is not there. Hey, Jerry.
Hi there. Where is this reading? I don't have that reading. Or maybe I do. The path to the love of God is through the love of others. I do not love God until I love my neighbor like myself. Jewish faith unites mind and heart. Even as my mind seeks to understand life's meaning, so may my life show love for all created things. We do not teach our children by words alone. May I make my life and actions into good teachings, for in my conduct I must exemplify Torah. Let my home glow with the beauty of our heritage. Let my doors be open wide to wisdom and righteousness. So we'll all chant together on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'chayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Al Levavecha Vishinantaham Levanecha Vidibarta Bam Beshiftecha Bevetecha Uvelechtecha Havaderech Uvshafbecha Uvekumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'chayu letotafot beineinecha, uchtaftam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tiskeru, ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim lelolechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti echtem me'eretz Mitzrayim, leot lachem lelolehim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. תודה רבה.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you so much, Jerry. We now invite forward Mark Ruskin, who will be offering the next reading, which is also from our supplement.
My son, if you will receive my words and treasure my commandments, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your heart to understanding. Indeed, if you cry after knowledge and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek her like silver and search for her as for hidden treasures, then shall you understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding.
Our prayer for freedom, for redemption, can be found on page 40, the Michamocha.
Hashkivenu is a prayer about
asking for protection, asking for safety in a world that has shifted, asking for love and guidance when we all need it so very much. It is not just for us, but for all around us. We ask, Hashkivenu, shelter us. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. May we lie down this night in safety and peace. May we wake each day to life and to love. May we wake each day to life and to love. Ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha. May we spend our days in your sheltering presence, protected from evil, sadness, and harm, protected from evil, from danger. Ushmor tzeitenu vo'enu. May we journey through life. May we journey through life. Ushmor tzeitenu vo'enu. In the shadow of your wings, in the shadow of your wings, O God of compassion, O God of grace, our shield and salvation, both now and forever. O God of compassion, O God of grace, our shield and salvation, both now and forever. Amen. Amen. My friends, my congregation, Temple Akiba, this community who has embraced me, I am so grateful to be given the opportunity to speak. When I went to sleep last night, I knew this day would be hard. This is the last Shabbat I spend with this congregation as your cantorial intern. And when I woke up this morning, I had no idea how much harder the rest of the world would make this day. I feel a little like Moses, giving you one more message to remember me by. My friends, we are in the desert. We are in the wilderness. The pandemic was just the beginning, but it wasn't really. There have been challenges in this country going back much further than that. And the challenges that we are facing now, the decisions that came down from above, we must pray, we must act,
we must try for change. Pikuach nefesh, the saving of life, is something so valued in Judaism. And when I think of the students who I taught before I came here, who lived in low-income, high-risk communities, when I think of my little girls who wouldn't be able to afford medication even if in the first 15 weeks or whatever statement was made. When I think of them and metal coat hangers, I am afraid. I worry about those children who I don't see anymore. I worry about our future children. I am so grateful to be here, but that is not why I chose to speak, why I asked to speak. My friends, I wish goodness and blessing on this community. I wish for change within our world. I wish for people to stand up, to gather together, to make our voices heard. Because we are traveling to the promised land. We are. And I know that if we work together and are surrounded by this beautiful community with blessings and love, that we will keep walking towards the promised land. Love yourselves, love each other. I will miss you so much. Keep your light burning strong, because as we know at Temple Akiba, our light shines brighter together. Thank you.
What a blessing you are, Liz. Thank you. We're going to have a little more to say about that, about you being a blessing later on in the service. We continue with our Amidah section, and we invite our Ira Pemstein to come back forward to help lead us in this prayer. We are on page 46. We ask the congregation to rise once again.
Adonai sefatai tivto ufi yagid tehillah. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei hakol, ve'zocher chasei avot ve'imahot, u'mevi geula livnei v'neihem, lema'an shemo be'ahava, melech ozer u'moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah.
Thank you so much. We're not going on to the Ataz yet. Thank you so much, Ira. We invite Victor Namias to come forward to lead us in the Gevurot. And we are on page 50. Page 50, everyone.
אתה גיבור לעולם, אדוני, בחיי הכל, אתה רב, להושיע, משב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, Michal Kei Chaim B'Chesed Norchim Alchom Kol Yisroshim Someach Nofim V'Rokai Choli Umatir Uzurim Umakayim Emunah B'Sheit Tah Mechamocha Baal Gvorot Ami Melech Melech B'Mit Mechai Yehibatz Yeshua V'nei Eman Zad Kol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechai HaKol.
Please be seated, everyone, and Victor will continue with a reading from the supplement.
The Hasidim tell the story of the Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov would go into the woods, light a sacred fire, and pray to find an answer to a particularly weighty problem. In this way, he found insight in his dilemma. His successor would go to the same place in the woods and say, "We no longer remember how to light the fire, but we can still say the prayer." That sufficed, and he found his answer. His successor would go to the same place in the woods, but could no longer light the fire or remember the prayer, and said, "That will have to suffice." And it did. In the fourth generation, the rabbi stayed home and said, "The fire we can no longer light, the prayer we can no longer know, and we do not remember the place. All we can do is tell the tale." And that proved to be sufficient. What happens when the tale itself is no longer told? What happens when we no longer have storytellers to tell the stories?
Thank you so much, Victor. The question that is posed from that reading is just penetrating, because as a progressive community, in one hand, we inherit everything, every story, every prayer, every fire that has come down to us. And in the other hand, we carry our own personal aspirations and wonderment and minds. As we enter this moment of silent prayer, we weave these together. What are the stories from prior generations that we carry? And how will our lives nurture the journey forward? We take a moment to pray silently.
Our prayer for peace, Oseh Shalom, can be found on page 62 at the bottom of the page. Oseh Shalom, Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael.
If we open to page 253, 253, in the center of the Siddur is our prayer for healing. We think about all those in our country, all those women who feel like the carpet has been swept from under them, who yesterday had security, but today they are wandering. We think about all those in our own lives who are feeling unsafe, insecure, sick of body, mind, and spirit. And it is for them that we offer this prayer. When we get to the center of the Mishaberach, as my eyes meet yours, if there are specific people that you are thinking of who could use an extra prayer at this time, please share that name or those names out loud.
Sheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Ve'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
David Jaffa, Carol Diamond, Gary Wanko, Sam Minches.
Ella Kadem, Ginger Jacobs.
Misheberach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And let us say, Amen.
When we have study sessions for adults, Your clergy team, including myself, are always amazed by the knowledge that sits around our table, whether it's in person or online. There are some who are able to not just impart knowledge, but impart wisdom. And I'm so honored to invite forward to share some pearls of wisdom from Louis Forsythe. Whenever we have study, you guys don't see it, but I'm jotting down the words that Louis shares because of his, again, not just his knowledge, but his way of imparting it. And that is what translates into wisdom. So Louis, so glad that you're here along with Arlene. Welcome to your congregation's Bima. Shabbat Shalom. You're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi and Cantor and congregation, for enabling the men's group to lead this service. It's especially meaningful to me since this is my first time back in the sanctuary for services in a long time. I'm grateful to the congregation for its thoughts and prayers while I was away on a medical absence, and I appreciate even more so the opportunity now to participate in the service. To begin, I looked at this week's Parsha in the book of Numbers. It's called Shlach, which means send. It tells the story of Israelite spies journeying into Canaan, the negative report that they brought back, the resulting punishment decreed that they wander and die in the desert over 40 years. It ends with laws about sacrifices and incense, and the story of a man who desecrates Shabbat and the commandment to wear ritual fringes. It's a lot. And as important and as meaningful as these ideas are, I felt our congregation was already well versed in animal sacrifice. And also how to create pleasant aromas for Hashem. So I looked elsewhere. And that's the wonderful thing about Judaism, is that there's always more resources to explore and things to learn. For example, the Gemara provides rabbinic commentary on the oral law of the Mishnah, and together they form the Talmud. Just as there are pairings of Parsha and Haftorah, there are pairings of Parsha and Gemara. Two modern sources I found for these pairings were from Chabad and from Apple Podcasts. Let's compare the paired Gemara story and this week's Parsha on both the macro national level and the micro personal level. The Gemara story takes place in the 4th century BCE, and it goes like this, talking about storytelling. Egyptian representatives appeared in the court of Alexander the Great, demanding that the Jews pay restitution for all the Egyptian gold and silver they took along with them during the Exodus, though that event had occurred 900 years before. No one knew what to do. At this point in the story, a new character is introduced. I am not sure how to pronounce his name, but it looks like Gaviha to me when I've looked it up, and there's different ways of saying it. My apologies to the family. But I've gotten to know him as Gaviha, so we're going with that. One description of Gaviha is that he was an unassuming man, in quotation mark, unassuming. The common synonym for unassuming is modest. He was a modest man. That's understandable. But the more common translation of the description of this man was that he was simple but wise. I must admit that I had not ever thought of anybody as simple and wise. But more on that later. The story continues. No one knew what to do, but Gaviha, son of Pasisa, couldn't get his name right either, a simple but wise Jew, requested that the sages give him permission to present a defense on behalf of the Jews. And this request was granted. During cross-examination in the testimony phase of the trial, Gaviah asked the Egyptians, "Do you have any evidence that the Jews absconded with your wealth?" And they laughed and said, "You got to be kidding me." No, they didn't say, "You got to be kidding me," but they were thinking, "You got to be kidding me," because they said, "The crime that you did is clearly recorded in your Torah. You said you did it." "Forget about it," said Gaviah. No, he didn't say forget about it, but he was thinking forget about it. And he said, that same Torah says that 600,000 Jews were unjustly enslaved and by the Egyptians for many, many years. He continued by saying, "So before we figure out how much we owe you, let's calculate how much you owe us." And I brought my calculator to do that. Herman, I'm going to put you down for 100 in lost wages. The rabbi, he's a hardworking guy, 200. Anybody else lost wages? You know, the Haggadah says that we were all there, in the Pharaoh. Anybody? Yes, sir. Thank you. Any more? I'm putting it in. Yes, sir. Okay. The court has to come to order. We have to get back to the trial. So, they don't call him Alexander the Great for no reason. I mean, I think the court did a good job. The court granted the Egyptians 3 days to prepare a response. When they were unable to do so, they fled on the 4th day, never returned. Good on that. Now, here's a side note, if you're not already confused. A modern interpretation of this story is that by alleging this crime, the Egyptians inadvertently undercut their own argument when they said that the Jews didn't have a presence in the historical homeland. See, on the one hand, they're saying the Jews weren't ever really there, and on the other hand, they're suing them for being there and having their stuff. But I digress. Back to the story. On 2 other occasions, this simple but wise man stood up and took responsibility for Israel's defense, and he did so with dispatch. There was a group of Africans, and I must say I don't know which Africans, but some Africans showed up and sued the Jews. They wanted all of the land of Canaan. Similarly, Ishmaelites showed up, and they sued in the same court, sued the Jews for the land of Canaan. And in both cases, our man stood up, took control, and basically did the same thing he did with the other case, which was he out-Torah'd the other guys. They came in with a line from Torah that sort of made it sound like they were right, and our guy, he just pushed that down with much better quotes. And those people, the Africans and the Ishmaelites, they got 3 days, still didn't help them, ran away on the 4th day, just like everybody else. So now how do these Parsha and the Gomorrah connect? Well, on the macro-national level, the former tells us about how Israel was first established by the force of an army, and the latter tells us the story of how Israel was preserved by a single person's mental acuity. That's quite a difference. On the personal level, I'm intrigued by the description of this as a simple but wise man. What does this mean? How can someone be both simple and wise at the same time? Not to mention that this guy has a lot of chutzpah too. Perhaps being simple just means understanding what simple things need to be done in a difficult situation. And there may be some inspiration there for today, that we need to find something simple that really does do something important. And being wise, which is the other half of this, is knowing how to apply knowledge to get a valid resolution of your problem. Actually, isn't the simple and wise profile of Gavia similar to Moses, the brave spies, all the heroes of the Torah, our entire history? Isn't it the same profile as ourselves when we meet our life's challenges? I think so. At the end of this story, we give thanks for our past heroes and the blessings for the heroes of today. That's even more important than I knew it when I wrote it. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom. Pick up your chits at the end.
Louis, thank you so much. I'm impressed by so much, but specifically, that's an actual calculator. I haven't seen one of those in a very long time. Louis, thank you so much for sharing just a little tiny bit of your light and your wisdom and your goodness, and we so appreciate all the gifts that you are. It's now our honor to call forward, representing the congregation tonight, Herman Barnathan, who is going to offer a hello to everyone. Herman, Shabbat Shalom again.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
You expect me to make a speech with these two looking at me?
Oh, my kids.
They're beautiful. They really are beautiful. That's okay. Leave them there.
No, just, I got to do a little show and tell.
Okay. I am Herman Barnathan, the men's group representative to the Board of Trustees. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to Temple Akiba's first annual men's group Shabbat service. And it was a nice one, it really was. Guys, I thank you very, very much. You did a great job, all of you. Is there anyone here tonight for the first time? Oh, somebody's got to raise their hand. I got a speech for you. Thank you, Victor. Oh, anyway. Actually, Shabbat, Temple Akiba has a lot to offer for everybody. So if tonight is not your first time, you know what we have to offer on Friday nights. You know what we have as far as school is concerned and everything else. So keep being a member, and beside being a member, don't forget, dues are due. You like the way that's done? Dues are due. It's almost July 1st. Get your checks in, please. Anyway, thank you, Ira and Herman, for lighting the candles and chanting the Kaddish. I guess I'm allowed to thank myself too, aren't I? Thanks, Herman. The men's group is sponsoring the Onig tonight. I have no idea what we're going to be serving, but I know it's going to be good. So join us in the social hall at the conclusion of services. Shabbat is a special time of the week. And you made it even more special tonight, guys. You really did. On behalf of the board, I thank you for leading tonight's service and for doing such a great job. I have a couple of announcements to make, if I can find them. It's summertime, so there really is not that much going on. However, June 26th, this one's going to be evening. This is going to be interesting. June 26th from 3:30 to 7 p.m. is Pub Akiba. I've been seeing emails on this. You can bring your own six-pack. It's in the annex yard, and it's from 3:30 to 7. Summertime also means Shabbat at the shore. Friday, July 15th and August 26th, gather at 5:30 at Toes Beach. Service begins at 6 o'clock. There'll be more on all of this, so you don't have to remember it now. Sisterhood presents a skirball tour August 20th at 2 p.m. I'll have what she's having, the Jewish deli. This is worth seeing. Join Sisterhood for this one. August 20th at 2 p.m. Again, there'll be more emails on it. This one really got me. Sunset and stand-up, paddleboard with the rabbi. That one's going to be great. July 30th and August 20th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. He's going to teach you how to paddleboard.
No, I'm not. I'm going to be there. I will be taught how to paddleboard along with others.
Oh, okay. Anyway, again, that's on the email. I know I've seen it on email, but you'll find all the things that I just mentioned on the table as you leave the sanctuary. And Rabbi, with your permission, I would like to deviate for a moment. As we all know, tonight is the last Shabbat service at Temple Akiba for cantorial intern Liz Baseman. She's been with us for 2 years, and she'll be moving on. Liz, we are thankful to you for all you have done. Your music, your teachings, your beautiful smile, and everything else that you do for us. I loved your speech tonight, really. It was beautiful. It brought tears. It really did. It started to bring tears. You have graced our halls for 2 years, and you will not soon be forgotten. I promise you that. On behalf of the men's group, we thank you, and we wish you Godspeed. Hopefully you will keep in touch and let us know what you are doing and where you are doing it. And every once in a while, if you're in the neighborhood, stop by and say hello. Shabbat Shalom to all, and please join us for the Oneg Shabbat.
Thank you, Herman.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you so much, Herman. Thank you so much, Herman. We'd also like to take the opportunity to invite forward Carol Diamond, who is our board director of religious practice. Carol, Shabbat Shalom to you. It's so good to see you.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So this is directed to Liz. I am here, as Rabbi said, on behalf of the Board of Trustees in my position as former Director of Religious Practices, now Religious Practices Trustee. For one more week. For one more week, something like that. Anyway, but this is, from all of us and from me personally. I first met you in that little office on the side when Cantor brought you in to interview. And when I first met you there, I could see right away your beautiful spirit. You were then, and you have continued to be over these past 2 years, this warm, caring, joyous person who has brought so much to our congregation and to all of us. For example, the Hashkivenu that you did tonight was magnificent. Your voice just soared. It made me feel so good, and I think I saw that in everyone else in the congregation also. Your message touched my heart, as Herman said. I will try to be part of that light and continue as you have said, and to think of all those others out there that you are thinking of. And I know that wherever you go from here, whoever you serve, whoever you're with, that they will be better off for having you be with them. And you will be very missed here. Love you.
Carol, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere, okay.
I'm just a little impromptu here. Carol, how many years have you served on the board now?
22.
22. And in addition to being president, how long since have you served as religious practice?
6 years.
We are the beneficiaries, specifically, of your dedication to helping us do what we do so flawlessly, and with your partnership, we want to offer you a blessing also.
Thank you.
Come here close to us.
Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May God's light shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
May God's light always shine through you and grant you completeness.
Amen. Thank you. So Rabbi and I also wanted to say more glowing, amazing things about our cantorial intern, Liz. Liz is a true student. She wants to know everything there possibly is to know about synagogue life. When she started as an intern, she said, I want to throw myself in. I really want to have an understanding of what happens in a synagogue. And oh my goodness, you fulfilled that goal. She, I think, has been involved in every single aspect of our synagogue life, which I've never had another intern that has immersed themselves as much as you have. And it has been such a joy and such a pleasure to watch you grow, to watch you learn, and to watch you teach, impart your wisdom, impart the joy, the beauty of your voice, the beauty of your soul. We are so incredibly lucky to be the beneficiaries of all of those amazing gifts that you have brought us in the last 2 years, from teaching the ECC kids music with me every Tuesday or Wednesday, from teaching our 11th graders Musar and pop culture, to teaching our 6th and 7th graders the meaning, the incredible deep meaning of our prayers, and teaching them how to recite the prayers, tutoring bar and bat mitzvah students, teaching classes like Judaism and pop culture, leading Torah study, leading, what else did she lead? Coffee with clergy occasionally, shadowing and helping out with life cycle events. I mean, she truly has been involved in every aspect of our synagogue, and we are just so lucky for that. Thank you so much for the last couple of years, for being my partner in crime, for really not just learning with me, but I feel like I have learned so much from you as well. I have gained so much from you as a friend, as a colleague, and as my intern. I'm just so grateful for you, for your presence. Thank you so much for everything in the last 2 years. And she is not going anywhere, by the way. She is going to continue her role as a B'nai Mitzvah tutor. So she will not be our official intern moving forward, but she will very much be around our synagogue and will also be helping out here and there as we need it. So she will still be a presence, which we're so happy about. Rabbi.
Liz, allow me to add that there are lots of things, as you know, that you learn in clergy school. You know, how to lead a prayer, the right melodies, how to present this and that. There's also the raw material that not everyone has. But the moment you first came here, we saw it. And that is a deep sense of kavanah. You have spiritual intention that you know how to interpret a prayer so beautifully, both in your musical delivery, but also in your divrei Torah. I don't know of any intern, cantorial or rabbinic, who on her or his first day was able to just impromptu offer an understanding, a deeper kavanah, a deeper understanding of a prayer the way that you do it so beautifully. I am personally in awe of that. And that's something that not everyone has right away. Thank you for sharing not just your understanding of a prayer, but your love of the prayer and enabling all of us to fall in love with those prayers as well. We are treasured through you, and we are a better congregation because of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Liz. May I?
Thank you.
And Kendra, I think we have a little something
We
for
do.
Liz
We
here.
have a little something for Liz.
A piece of paper.
So we wanted to thank you and honor you for your 2 years of service. And we wanted to present you with a Temple Akiba Sisterhood gift shop certificate with appreciation for sharing your light with our temple. Thank you from Rabbi Shapiro, Cantor Freilich, and the entire Temple Akiba community. So we figured that we would leave it up to you to choose from the incredible, beautiful ritual objects that our sisterhood gift shop has.
We know a woman who can help you with that.
Right over there.
Linda, okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Cantor. Thank you, community. I have been changed for the better and for good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Liz is also our song leader for camp this summer.
Yeah.
So she's going to continue to be busy.
Yes.
Friends, our concluding prayers start with the Elena on page 282, and we invite the community to rise once again.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kogoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. On page 289, the light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty, but soon it fades. Its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance and our lives are full. But as night follows day, the candle of our life burns down and gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair. For we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. We're We remember those in our community who have died, who continue to live in our souls from their eternal resting spaces. We begin with those for whom we are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, including Sherry Berlin and Eileen Pachersky. Is there anyone else who is observing Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning? We add to their names the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat. I begin with those who have plaques in our Orfrig Memorial Room. Jacob Bimstein, Rose Feldman, Jacob Friedman, Hyman Kaltman, Glenn Carroll, Joe Klein, Dorothy Miller, Ida Minkoff, Gerald Moskowitz, Bertha Aller, Charlotte Paperny, Hy Payson, Warrant Officer Gerald Perlstein, Eve Soloff, Jacob Spiro, Julia Zalkind, Kenneth Zimmerman. We also remember Julie Berman, Rhoda Brandis, Martin Clark, Sadie Cooper Smith, Barney Gordon, Eleanor Hackavy, Alan Horowitz, Minna Kirby, Bert Mann, Leonard Minchus, Jack Olberger, Morris Perlman, Theodore Perlman, Mildred Rolfe, my grandfather Philip Rootberg, Gertrude Rotholz, Clarice Sales, Daniel Scheinman, Sylvia Schulman, Saul Siegel, Eva Seufer, Joyce Waldman. May their memories, is there anyone else who is observing a yard site at this time? May their memories guide us toward goodness and toward light. In our Sidurim, we can follow with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on 294, page 294. Once again, we ask that you please rise. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yalmad divrach rotei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael b'galau v'yizman kariv imru amen Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olmei olmaya v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, d'kudusha b'richu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who causes peace to be known in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel, for all humanity, we say, amen. Victor, thank you so much for sharing these incredible luminaries to have this service for us tonight. And we can't wait until the second annual men's group service.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be closing our service with the singing of Od Yavo Shalom. Feel free to put your books down because we love to do some hand clapping with this song.
This is also one of my favorite songs, like in general, not just Jewish songs, but favorite songs in general.
Perfect way to end then.
Yavo
Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al Kulam. Salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. 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 Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. Salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Additional thanks to Jeffrey Rips, who is helping us make sure that we are online with those who are Zooming in or YouTubing in, and to everything else Jeffrey does. Welcome back from your vacation. We're glad you're back.
Please join with us in our prayer over the bread. You can reach out your hand. Ready? Ready. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices joining happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, v'te'avon.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.